Hey. See if I can't get this stuff set up here. Can anyone see me? I'm in a different program. I'm not sure if I can see what is actually going on here. Go to live chat. I'm looking here. Can you hear me? I got a terrible amount of feedback there. Can you hear me? Terrible amount of feedback there. Can you hear me? I can. Oh crap! All right. So let's do. I can see you. How you doing, Dom? How you doing, Sheldon? How you doing, Plot and Stitch? Sheldon, I started to answer your question. So, how long is the sun vinyl good for on a roll? What kind of material is it? Sheldon, I started to answer your question. So, how long is the sun vinyl good for on a roll? What kind of material is it? I would say generally it depends on whether it's cast or calendared. Generally, you can tell from my experience, if it's calendared, it'll really shrink up on the edges. You can see where the vinyl will actually pull back on the edges. Cast, you don't have so much of an issue with. Calendared, or the lesser expensive, cheaper grade stuff will shrink a lot faster. I've had vinyl, cast vinyl, I've had on rolls for over 10 years. And I still sort of use it. I have used it. And it seems to be okay. The adhesive and everything, it still works fine. There we go. Okay, that's better. I had to switch over from another screen. Sorry. I'm using new software. Like I said, the other live stream did not work very well. And so I'm using this OBS software, and it seems to work pretty good, but there's so much to it. And I still need to turn the volume down in the background there. There we go. So, PS sign vinyl. Is it just a general type pressure sensitive sign vinyl? Is it a specific brand? Stalls. Let me get a look at it real quick. And let's see here. Letters and numbers, equipment, accessories, more. Permanent PS sign vinyl. Standard. Let's see here. looks like yeah. So looking at their website, I unfortunately I can't screen share just because I haven't figured out how to do that. It says, what is the durability? It says our sawn vinyl is an intermediate grade with an outdoor durability of at least 3 to 5 years. So it's definitely a calendared film. You know, it's as long as you keep it dry and out of the sun and somewhat climate controlled, it'll last for a long time. Like I said, you'll generally tell when vinyl rolls are going bad because when you look at the edges, the vinyl will shrink, especially calendared. It's going to shrink a lot faster, and you can look out towards the edge of the vinyl rolls, and you'll see where the actual colored material shrunk back from the backing, and you can tell that it's been around for a while. What's up, Dom? Thanks for stopping by, buddy. Figured you'd be racing tonight. How you doing, Rigo? Is it JR or is it Rigo Jr.? Just a lot of people have different screen names, and I'm just not sure what. I raced last night, so Thursday nights are our race nights. Junior, thanks for stopping by, Junior. Appreciate y'all tuning in. I want to know who the person is that said no on the vote. No, seriously, we're going on vacation. I haven't had a chance to make video for next week, but got a lot of stuff that's kind of going on, and it's kind of a transition. My wife's really adamant about going on this vacation, so we're going to be leaving out probably Tuesday, and we're going to be gone for a week. So I have not done any new videos, but I have some stuff that's up and coming. I race electric, always have. I'm kind of a clean freak. I've always stuck to electric carpet. So yeah, and I just got back into it about a month ago. I've been out of it for I don't know, 15, 20 years, something like that, and just decided to get back into it. It seems like it's catching on. It's getting a lot more popularity. So I don't know where it is. There, right over there, right there. It's the 1RCs. It's the 1RC late model. But looking to get into something else. I'm just not sure since I pretty much gave up tournament fishing. Just looking for something else to kind of occupy my time. Is it laggy on your end? The Fortec. Fortec is it's kind of like spec, isn't it? Like spec racing? Is that what it is? Where are you from, Junior? Dom, if you could choose one product to sell, what would it be? And make money and live off of it? as I get older, um, because we've pretty much gone to like a one man show, which is me. So I do all the email answering, I do all the design work, I do all the production work, I do all the boxing, I do all that other stuff, and then the wife helps me out with the shipping labels and stuff. Honestly, if I could do one thing, it would be designing, just strictly designing. If I had to choose something that I had to produce or make, it would, I don't know, because I like the aspect of paint, and I've always liked the aspect of paint, but the HDU is dirty. So I'm just, I don't know. I can tell you that I love my CNC, and hands down, my CNC has made me more money than both of these pieces of equipment over here. Well, I mean, the cutter makes a lot of money, but the printer, and I've said this before, I'm just kind of stuck with the printer right now. So, and it's just kind of limping along at this point. Just because we don't promote it, I don't promote it, and it's my own fault. It's not that it doesn't work or we don't have the capability. I just don't want to do it. New York City. It used to be, I remember a long time ago growing up when I used to order my parts. There was a hobby shop in New York City. I think it was called America's Hobby. And I used to order a bunch of my stuff from them when my parents would let me. Used to order that stuff COD. I have a Shapeoko XXL, and I've had it for 4 years. And like I said, hands down, that machine has been the best return on investment, hands down. And then the cutter and the printer kind of falls into play with that. But that CNC machine, we've got, I don't know, I probably got about $3,000 into it by the time it's all set up and done, and software, well, no, maybe about $3,500. But it's just another tool that I use to kind of expand on the signs. And basically the great thing is that I can just turn it off. I can walk away for 3 or 4 days. I can turn it back on and nothing changes. So you don't have to worry about any kind of consumables. After 4 years, you have to replace bits and stuff, but I'm on the same router and all that other good stuff. But it's been a great CNC, a starter CNC for me. Like I said, the only downfall is it limits me to certain size signs, and it has its drawbacks. But again, like I said, all of our stuff is shipped, so I just predetermined sizes, and I don't go any bigger than this. And if I have to, and someone's willing to pay for it, then I source it out through somebody else and get a price, and then just shell shock the customer. It doesn't bother me one way or the other. Would you recommend the Shapeoko for aluminum work? It depends on the thickness. I mean, it will cut aluminum. I cut a ton of ACM on it. I generally cut ACM number 1, MDO number 2, and then I cut some HDU, some urethane. But it cuts through 3mm ACM like butter. I've done 6 mil, so 1/2 inch thick ACM. It cuts through really, 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 really well. I've cut up to 2 inch thick foam. Someone wanted some they wanted some big letters or something like that, and they didn't want to pay for HDU, so I suggested some of that builder's foam that you get from Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever, and you get it like 2 inches thick. So I got me a 2.5 inch long bit and ended up cutting him some letters out. He seemed to be happy with them. I didn't finish them, but I just cut them out. So it's a pretty versatile machine, and I know a lot of people use it a lot more than what I typically do. But it's great because, like I said, I just use my Aspire. I plug in the G code, make it work, send it over, and it takes literally, I don't know, 3 minutes by the time I clamp the board down and hit send, and it cuts. Pick it back up, sand it, prime it, paint it. So, oh, you're good, buddy. I had someone call me before the live stream, so I didn't even know what I was doing. I was talking to him, and I think I actually hit live stream, so I think I had to stop it. I don't know. How you doing, Rose? War red. Well, and there's a lot of great CNC machines out there. Like I said, if you have the space, um, they're definitely a great tool, along with the printer and the cutter. Again, like I said, we kind of built a package that I use all three components. And again, I'm always looking for something that kind of sets us apart from what everyone else is doing. There's a lot of cutters. It kind of seems like everyone's starting to get printers and stuff. So, the CNC just kind of helps you, sets you apart, just kind of like, I don't know, makes a different product out of all the pieces of equipment. So it's a great cutter. Like I said, I thought about doing a review on it, but it's 4 years old and no one cares. It's like over that. I mean, it does what it's supposed to do. Cut coroplast. You can cut PVC. You can cut acrylic. You can basically cut anything, and there's not a huge learning curve to it. There's so much information, and that's basically, I learned by screwing a lot of stuff up, like a lot of things. But yeah, it's worth getting. I'm not saying Shapeoko is the way to go. I know that there's several other brands that work really well, and there's some weak points in the Shapeoko. But I mean, for me, that thing's been rock solid. I've never broke a belt, never broke the V wheels. I keep my stuff clean, and yeah, it's been good. I do run the Aspire software, just because it doesn't limit me to certain things. I guess, I don't know, I kind of get frustrated, but Shapeoko has their own software, the Carbide Create, which has grown leaps and bounds over the last 4 years from when I got mine. I still use Carbide Motion to process the G code with the Shapeoko, with the CNC, but yeah, I use Aspire to generate the code for the cuts and all that other stuff. And again, it's a learning curve, but it's not that complicated. There are so many tutorials out there that it's pretty easy to catch on. But yeah, if you have any questions, or I'm more than happy to give my 2 cents for whatever you need to know. Shapeoko has so you can, I know that there is a drag knife option for the Shapeoko. It's actually, I think you do it in Aspire. You can definitely do it. A lot of people do it for magnets and cardboard and stuff like that. I've never. I think the transition from people that have the CNC, the Shapeoko, they use it primarily for like woodworking and like the vinyl sign industry secondary. I use it the other way around. So, but yes, they do make a drag knife for it, where yes, you can cut vinyl and all that other stuff. I can tell you that it's not going to cut in a lot of detail like your normal vinyl cutter would, just because of the way that the blade's set up, and it's not. The belt-driven machines aren't like super duper accurate. They're within like a 32nd of an inch, but when you're cutting letters, when you talk about a 32nd of an inch, when lines don't connect when they're cutting, it's just not ideal, for stuff like that. So it would be nice. I saw Darren. Was it Time to Make Something? He's got that was it that Suma, that F series? That thing's pretty awesome. I was like super duper impressed with that. I wish it's fun to have the features and have one machine that can do all that stuff. But at the same time, I'm not a fan of sticking my neck out on the line to finance more equipment. I mean, if you can buy it outright, fine. But I never even imagine what something like that would cost. But so again, like I said, with using the Shapeoko and the vinyl cutter and the printer, I just kind of use them all together and just kind of figured out what works for me. I mean, you can definitely it takes a little bit of precision. I don't know that it depends on the rubber dies. I think that you're looking to do the size. The Shapeoko also has, I think, don't quote me, I think it's called the Nomad type cutters, and they are much more precision based. They're not belt driven. I think they're on ball drives, which like a screw and ball drive instead of a belt, and they're much more accurate. I mean, those machines would probably be better up your alley if you're looking to do like molds of do rubber stamps and stuff like that. If you're looking for super fine detail, then yeah, look at don't look at the Shapeoko. Look at the I think they're called the Nomads. Let me look at it real quick. I wish I could share my screen, but I'll get there. Let me see what they say here. What is it? The X-Carve 2. So where are 3D? Sorry, yeah, I think it's called. It's the Nomad. The Nomad would probably be your better bet for precision stuff like that. Now the footprint isn't near as big as what you can get out of the Shapeokos, but it's still they're really good machines. I'm not sure what software comes with that side of the Nomads, but I know that they offer 2 or 3 different sizes. The same thing with the Shapeoko. So it just depends on how versatile or how much detail that you need and actually what you're doing. And it's no problem answering the question. I appreciate you asking them. What do you typically do, Junior? Is that what you do? Just rubber stamps, or looking for? Do you do sign related stuff? Gotcha. Make sure I didn't miss anything here. Did I answer your question, Dom? I don't think I have a good answer for that, because I honestly don't know what I want to do. So I wish I could retire. So your HP latex, the 26500, is that the big 220 or is that the 110? Yeah. It'll happen one day, I suppose. I don't know. It's that's kind of why I started the channel. It's a funny backstory. So when we had the employees, and there were actually 4 kids that between my wife and I, and we used to ask and say, hey, this big shop and the employees and all that, and we're like, yeah, this is going to be yours one day. And the kids were like, no, not interested. We're like, really? This is like the silver platter, and we just give it to you, and they're like, nope, I want to do this. I want to do that. I'm like, okay, so we just keep kind of moving on. So, and again, you all watching and asking questions and watching me, it's very, very humbling because, it's just trying to teach people, or, people have questions. I know I learned the hard way a lot of stuff. First, when we first got our shop kind of set up and running, I can't tell you how many times that I misspelled crap and had to replace stuff, and I ended up losing my ass on everything. I mean, it was bad. It was a really bad learning experience, and there was no one to really talk to about doing this kind of stuff. So, like I said, I'm happy to help. I appreciate you tuning in and watching and asking questions. It goes a long way. So, 220. I bought it on eBay from a sign company with about 9 inks. Well, that's pretty good, and it runs good. Or does it need print heads? I don't know much about the latex printers. I know that everyone's partial, Ford, Chevy, Dodge thing, but whatever. I don't care as long as it works. That's just that's just my philosophy. Hey, buddy. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, we're gonna be in Cozumel next week, so we're going to what are we doing? We're going Coco Cay, and then we're going down to Cozumel, and then we're going to be back flying into Miami actually flying into Fort Lauderdale, sailing out of Miami. So nice, Junior. You got a good deal. You'll make your money back on that. That's a really, really good deal. Small problem getting it to print red. Huh. How you doing, Sergio? Thanks for stopping in. Thank you, buddy. Came with 3 print head replacements. Now, I assume, so the latex printer, so each is, I assume it's 4 heads, cyan, yellow, magenta, black, right? Or do you have, was it a light cyan, light magenta? Hey, Expansive, what's your name? I'm sure that you told me, but it's been a while since we talked. Six colors. So it has the light cyan and the light magenta. If it's printing red, it kind of sounds. It also depends on your RIP software too. But did they have a problem with it, or is it just on your end? Deep reds come out salmon color. Yeah, it almost sounds like a RIP issue. I mean, if your blues are blue and your blacks are black and all that stuff, it just sounds like you're using Flexi 19. Now, again, like I said, it's all hearsay, but I hear that Flexi had some issues with some of the color profiling in the RIP software. So, like if all the other colors seem to print okay, then it might be a bug in Flexi. I'm not exactly sure. I know a lot of people. Again, like I said, they're on me for not upgrading to the newest, latest, greatest software. But I'm a firm believer, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I'll but now I would probably look into the RIP software if the rest of the colors are printing okay. Let's see here. Still on the fence about that Prism Jet. The shop guaranteed it to work, so they just sold it because they upgraded to a newer model. I would definitely say check your profiles. At least that's where I would start. Try to do a test print, not out of Flexi. Try to do a test print directly from the printer and the printer's firmware, and just take Flexi out of the equation. And if you can hit reds and other colors, then I would almost guarantee that Flexi is probably part of the issue, whether it's a bug or whether it's something in the profile that needs to be addressed. So thank you, Roll. So you're thinking, and this is my 2 cents. Don't get a BN 20A. So one of the other subscribers, his name's Ben. He reached out to me because he wanted some more information about the Mutoh. Oh God, what was the other guy's name? Ken. Ken reached out to me as well, and he just had some general questions. But they got one of the new the Mutoh, the 628, the 24 inch, and he had a lot of good information on there, and we kind of swapped some information. But when he was looking at sizable printers in that class, this 24 inch cutters, he said that the Mutoh, the 628, just kind of blew it away. And it's not that the Roland is not, it's not capable, but you get much better features out of the 628 than what you will out of the BN20. That was just his opinion from his research, but and I gave that information to Ben, and I actually put Ben and Ken in contact so that those two can kind of hash out what what's going to work best for them. And so absolutely, yeah, I agree, Peter. I'm not I'm not saying it's a bad printer. I'm just saying. But when I talk, because I have no real world experience with either of those two printers, I'm just going off of what I read and what people have told me. But it was his comparison that the 628 was a better value for him. And then there's RIP softwares, and there's so many other variables in there. And again, like I said, if it works, then great. I'm not a brand specific kind of guy. It doesn't bother me one way or the other. We have Mutoh, we have Prismjet, we have Q Series, and so I'm not brand specific. It doesn't bother me at all. So, Sergio, I have an old GCC 24 inch. I had one of the old GCC 24 inch. I think it was a GRC 61. I think it was the Panther model. The servo-driven Panther model, and I can tell you that thing was rock solid. We had that thing for probably 8 years before we upgraded to that one. Sorry, before we upgraded to the 24 inch. Yeah, great cutters. Never had an issue with it. No, well, I'm lying. We had one of the servo boards go bad in it, and or the main board went bad. That killed one of the servo drives, one of the XY axis or whatever. Sign Warehouse sold the cutter, but they referred us back over to GCC for the replacement board, and it was still comparable. I don't remember what it was, $100 or something like that. But yeah, those are great cutters. Those things are bulletproof. They are tanks. They really built stuff really good back in the day too. But materials are expensive in Brazil. So yeah, materials are expensive everywhere. Everything has gone through the roof. For instance, I'm having an issue getting my MDO plywood. I'm looking for alternatives, and instead of generally I used to get a sheet of plywood, 4x8 sheet of plywood for about, I don't know, $65-$70. And when I could find it, I'll buy like 2 or 3 sheets of it. Well, Grimco had it, I think, back for like $88. I ended up getting 1 sheet of it, but I'm looking to some other materials, and I think Dom, I told Dom I was kind of thinking about this. I actually got it sitting on my desk. It's this stuff. So I started painting some of it, just doing some little bit of sampling, but it's basically, it's an exterior MDF. I'm not sure of the warpage of it. So, but yeah, it's Oracle is raising their prices. Yeah, it's across the board. All the stuff is kind of crazy. I mean, even One Shot, I've been trying to get paint. All that stuff's been on back order for like 2 months, and it's just material shortages, and not really much that we can do about it. And of course, we just pass it along to the customer, but it kind of hurts the old workflow, getting stuff in and getting stuff out. It's just, I think I spend more time looking for materials and just trying to find what works. I love your job. You can come take my place anytime, buddy. I wish I could teach someone the ropes. I wish I could just hand some of this dumb knowledge over and just say, just go for it. I'm done. So, like I said, I wouldn't mind retiring. It's been a good ride, but yeah, that's true. So, so Peter is the BN20? Is it a print and cut, or is it just a printer? And roll. I mean, and that's another big thing. So, I mean, if you have rolling support right then and there, I mean, that would probably really, really help you out too. It would help narrow my decision down. I mean, you always need support, and it is print and cut. So, do you have a separate cutter? Do you use it as print and cut? Hey, Peter, do you use it as a print and cut? Yeah, so, and again, like I said, everyone needs to weigh the pros and the cons of everything. I mean, if the Mutoh guy is right down the road from you, then that's where you get your ink, that's where you get your support, But if the Roland guy's down there, and you know, again, you're not going to go wrong with either piece of equipment. And I understand being, just getting all the information that you can just justifies and solidifies the printer that you're getting. GraphTech Rolling Cut is useless. BN20 and GraphTech. Yeah. That's where I was never sold on a print cut machine. Once we had one, because we had one of the older Rolands, and my heater just kicked on. So if it starts causing y'all, say something, because I really can't hear. I'm just watching myself and I'm mumbling. When we had the smaller piece of equipment, we quickly found out that it was more. We got a lot more productivity from having two separate pieces of equipment, and so that's pretty much how we set our sights. And we were kind of convinced, if we're printing this, you can cut that, or if you're cutting that, then you could print, and kind of goes hand in hand. So, it took a lot of trial and error, but I would probably never go to a print cut unless I was tight for space. And like I said, support is huge. 3 years, and thanks to every one of you that are watching. Like I said, because Rhonda from Sign Warehouse, she reached back out to me as well, and she said thank you, for suggesting and having people call her and all that other good stuff. And she said, if there's anything we could ever do for you, I'm like, well, I need some tech support. I'm having some printer issues. All right, I'll get tech support right over for you. So, and again, I think I had mentioned that on one of my videos, and I found the problem. I'm just trying to find the solution. So, tech support is great. They didn't technically solve the problem. They made me look for an issue, if that makes any sense, and I found the issue. But because tech support says that they've never had that problem, they're looking at me like then it never existed, but it does. So, anyways, I'm trying to get my printer situated. It's not, well, it is kind of a print issue, but it's not a big deal. Something totally custom. tight for space here, yes. Yeah, I mean, the Roland may be the way to go, and you got to start somewhere. I mean, we started out with that little Roland. We started out with a 15-inch cutter and started out with a Sticka. Then we went to what Sergio said. We went to a GCC. That was technically a Vinyl Express Sun warehouse cutter, and then we upgraded from there. Then we ended up getting one of the Roland, the PNC 60. It was a resin base thermal printer. What is it? It was called the NCAD. If anyone's old enough to remember NCAD, raise your hand. It was an NCAD. It was a 24-inch printer, and they had these outdoor. They weren't dye-based inks. They were some sort of water-based. I don't know. It was still a water-based ink, but they said you could use them outdoors. And we had that printer, and that thing was just a piece of junk. It was a big paperweight, and I don't remember wasting a lot of money. And I told the wife, so I'm just going to buy me a big printer. And so that's when we bought our first Mutoh, and kind of never looked back from there. But yeah, if you're tight on space, the BN will probably be right up your alley. They all print, they all cut. It's not a matter of what one does better than the other. Is it slow? Yeah, but it's more than what you got. Unless you can outsource the prints, that's probably the way to go. Like I said, when I was talking to Ken, he has a separate cutter. Now, y'all correct me if I'm not right, but the 628 is just a printer. You need a separate cutter for it, but. And my only thing with the print cut machines is technically you should laminate everything that's printed, but hey, well, think of it, really small banners, as long as you can print, that graphic, if that's what you want to do, you print the graphics out. And just apply them to the bigger banners, or just tell people, say, hey, this is as large as I can go, and they're just going to have to live with it and get 2 or 3 of them. So, do you laminate your prints, Peter? Well, yeah, you can always outsource banners, and if it's not your cup of tea, I mean, if it's not something that you make. I can't remember the last time I actually printed a banner. It was probably close to a year ago. So I don't print a lot of banners. So yeah, outsource the banners. I know there's probably a lot of places that probably do them better, faster, cheaper than what any of us could do them. If you're looking at decals and labels, the BN20 will probably be right up your alley and kind of fit the size that you need to stay in. So, and again, if you have Roland support there, then that's a plus as well. Hardware, inks, supplies, all that good stuff. That may be your best bet. GCC Jaguar. It was a super plotter. It started so fast. Pulled the whole Roland machine at one time. Yeah, buddy, I did that once or twice too. That sucker. If I don't roll media out, like I said, when you're on the back of the machine, like I said, you don't spool it out, and that cutter's running, and it just jerks the material right out. You're like, what the hell was that noise? And you go back and you think everything went to crap. But yeah, that's the thing. Like I said, they just do what we tell them to do. Like I said, it had no idea. You're welcome, Roll. Junior, I don't laminate with the HP. Why not? If you're doing outside stuff, it's kind of like, and that's just my 2 cents. Like I said, there's a guy up the road. He's got a big 60-inch Mutoh. He's the guy that I sold my laminator to because he wanted to start laminating. Plastic bottles and stuff like that. I'm talking like outdoor stuff. I do more sign-related stuff that goes outside, and generally, if something could go wrong, it probably will go wrong. But like I said, I laminate everything. 99% of everything. There's anything that goes outdoors. Like I said, there's some peel and cut, some peel and stick stuff, or some static cling that obviously I don't laminate. But yeah, just about everything I laminate just to be on the safe side. I've had people try to clean stuff with alcohol and it just wipes all the ink off. So I just do it anyways. I just call it, I price it out laminated, and if they're okay with it, then it is what it is. Yeah, we printed labels out for a wine company, and they were called Busted Nickel. And again, it was they were just printed, and they went ahead and they put them on their bottles, and something with the alcohol actually ended up rubbing the ink off. So I just do it. What did he say? He's got. Back up here. Was it the HP latex? What is it? L26500? Was that it? You got a BN22, Johnny? Yeah, Junior got a great deal on that printer. That's he did good on that. Cold. I know that. Well, I have zero experience in the heat assist stuff, so. Cold roll laminate or hot roll for your projects. And again, like I said, I always do cold. Again, I got rid of my laminator, and the only thing that I use to laminate is the big squeegee. Just because my projects are small, I don't do really wide format stuff anymore. So my big squeegee, I've got the 36-inch, and I think it's the 49-inch big squeegee, and so if I have to squeegee or laminate anything, that's generally what I end up using. Yes, I do lay them on the 7-year and discovered that car polish is good for the 3-year. Gives brighter colors and repels dirt. Yeah, I've always recommended for people that when we did wraps, I always recommended Lucas Slick Mist. It's got a little bit of wax in it, and it doesn't hurt the laminate. It's just what I found that worked. I'm sure there's other stuff out there that works, but we always just use and recommended the Lucas Slick Mist. Henry, have you done labels for football helmets? I don't know what material or what media I should use. Go to Substance, and they have a now this is printable material. Again, I'm going to figure out how I can share my screen next time so I can get all this stuff situated. I'll tell you, I think it's called Ultra Curve. Ultra Curve, it's a it says it's ultra aggressive print media with flow, and Substance's flow is their air release technology. And typically what you're going to do on the Ultra Curve, you can use any high-tack media, print media, and then you're just going to have to laminate it. Like I said, they have the Ultra Curve 10 or 1000, which is 10 mils, which is probably more than enough. And then they also have the 1500, which is the 15 mil. And I can tell you from experience, that stuff is a pain in the ass to cut. It takes like double and triple cutting. We did a lot of motocross graphics, and we use the 15 mil stuff, and it's a totally different beast. And you can't print and cut a lot. I think we had 30-inch media, and we were trying to cut a piece that was like 4 or 5 feet long. The media is so thick and it buckles in between the rollers, and so the blade holder actually wouldn't pick up high enough. So if you had your blade here and the media would kind of roll across, the media would actually touch the blade tip, and it constantly cut it. So we had to figure out how to cut that stuff, and basically the only thing you can do is just break it down into smaller sections. Just don't try to cut. It's easy to print, it's easy to laminate, but it's a pain to cut because it's so thick. 60-degree blade, and we had to do double cuts on everything. It was just a nightmare. It's one of those things that I just don't care to do. So print and cut speed between the BN20 and the Mutoh with a super cutter. For whatever reason, that OSB software will not let me scroll back up to the top to look at and see if I missed any questions. Yeah, I honestly think that the Mutoh, if you have the space, is probably the way to go. Is there any advantage to using heat assist lamination? I can't answer that question, at least honestly. I'm trying to remember what the purpose of the heat assist was. I don't think that you can get any more speed out of it. I mean, as far as an end product, I don't know that there's a real advantage over going heat assist. I mean, the equipment costs more. I think you use the same laminate, but I'm not exactly sure. Like I said, I've always cold lammed everything. I do get some silvering, like I said, especially with the big squeegee, but it's nothing that doesn't go away in about 12 to 24 hours. It definitely clears itself up before it's shipped out. So, and the customer never ever tell a difference. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm going to actually look it up because I'm not exactly sure. Just kind of. Yeah, just from what I'm reading, it says hot laminators provide a better quality, more durable lamination that is more resistant to wear and tear. This is the preferred method of laminating for materials that are not affected by heat. And then it says, what is a cold lamination? A cold lamination, heat-sensitive materials like glossy paper, inkjet printed business cards can be laminated. Cold laminators are used when the items being laminated are sensitive to heat. I don't know. Kind of sounds like a catch-22 to me. It's because majority of the stuff that we do is outside. I don't know, my printer, I don't know what the temperature is on the plating, but heat for thick laminate like floor graphics. Nope, Henry, I don't heat assist for any of that stuff. I just the substance material, like I said, I just lam it like I normally do. I just cut off enough, get the big squeegee, and just kind of roll it down there. Floor graphics, I use the same material. So the other video that I had, it was for carpet graphics. Carpet graphics, floor graphics, it's the same material. You just have to remember to use the high-tack media and some sort of anti-skid laminate. That's the trick to carpet, floor, stuff like that. So how thick, and hey Henry, how thick is the laminate? Are you talking like a 3 mil, or are you talking like a 6, 10, 15 mil? Because I mean there is a difference. So the thick laminate, like the 10 and the 15 mil, if you're not using a typical like roll-to-roll laminator, yeah, you'll get some bubbles from the big squeegee, just because you're not able to provide enough pressure, equal pressure and force when you actually apply it, and it does get bubbles in it. It's not silvering. You will get bubbles in them, but that's when we had the laminator. It wasn't that big of a deal. So do lamb with soap and water. It gives the heat lamb look. Was it like super glossy? Is that what it does? Just gives it a glossier finish. Awesome. You're gonna love it. As long as you got, and remember, like I said, the key to the big squeegee is you have to have a super stout level table when you laminate. If you hit any kind of deviations, any humps, rolls, dips, that's when your lamination's gonna really suffer. Make sure that it's completely flat and completely rigid when you're putting pressure down. When using the big squeegee. Did you get the aluminum one, or did you get like one of the PVC looking ones, like one of the ones that we had, Henry? I'm out of tea. Yeah, that's crucial. It's crucial to have a level table, level and solid. Like I said, if you're applying pressure when you're putting the laminate down, if there's any dips or if it's not completely flat, any bubbles or humps or anything like that, it will mess the lamination up. It'll actually throw the squeegee off. It'll pinch on one side, or it could pull on the other, and it does. No more aluminum is being sold now. Material out of stock. Yep, that's what when I put that video up, when I went to Dale's website, and yeah, he said that just trying to get the material was just a big pain. So he said due to unforeseeable circumstances, he had to go back to the old ways, which, man, I'm telling you, I've had them for probably 7-8 years and never had a problem. We have had to replace the little Teflon strips on the bottom, and I know he sells it, but I think we just got like that nylon athletic tape, and just put some Velcro underneath of it, and seemed to work out really, really well. But that thing will last you a lifetime too. No, but the trick is definitely having a good level table, good flat level table. I don't know if you can see back over on that side, over like right there at my table. These are just 2x4 supports, but they actually, I've got bracing I think it's about every 16 inches, just to keep it from flexing in the bottom. So like I said, if you're putting pressure on it and does this, and you put pressure on it and does that, then you'll get an air pocket when you go to laminate. So like I said, everything just needs to be nice and straight and level and sturdy. Until I redo my table, I plan to get 3/4 MDF wood to do my big squeegee laminate on. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. But again, like I said, you still have to brace up underneath of it, kind of like how I ended up doing my table. Yeah, just build a big solid table, and just make sure that you put a lot of bracing underneath of it. I think I'm using 1/2 inch MDF, and then I've got 3/16 acrylic on top of that as I use for my cutting mat, so to speak. So let's see here. What material do I sell the most? Combined or just, I don't know. It's kind of all over the place. I mean, so when we were selling a lot more stuff on Amazon, we were going through a crap ton of 631 vinyl. I mean, we used to order, 2 rolls of 50 inch or 2 rolls of 24 by 50 and, probably 4 rolls of 15 by 50 and, the print media. And we constantly went through that stuff. Not the case anymore. Things change. What material? What the hell does that mean? What does Vorrad mean? I have no idea. I probably sell more ACM right now than I do anything. As actual product, I sell more ACM signs than I do anything. So 8mm glass, good to work on or to lam on. I would say it's okay, but I'd be afraid that it'd break if it doesn't have enough structure underneath of it. That would be. I guess as long as it's tempered glass, 8mm glass should be okay. Peter, I sit on my table, I'll crawl across it, I'll put my elbows down on it, and I'll throw stuff down on it. That's why I like my acrylic. I don't know. Glass. So let's see if I do this right here. So go over here, this table right here. So that's a glass table. That's my light table. I'm gonna move the other way. Crap. All right. So yeah, it's got glass. Thing I'm always scared to death about freaking breaking it though. I don't know if I break it. I don't know that I'd ever be able to replace it. I guess there's only one way to find out. Let us know how it works out for you. I wouldn't use glass. If it's something that's free and is readily available, give it a go. See how well it works out for you. I know how I am. I get kind of careless around stuff like that, and I just think that it would probably be a big mess in the event that it does break. If it's cheap enough, then hey, go for it. But the acrylic works for me because it has a little bit more give to it. Even if the table does flex or whatever, I never worry about it breaking. Okay. I'm still going back here. What happened? All right. Anyone else got any questions? I can do this all night. It doesn't matter to me. If y'all are out of steam, like I said, it's pretty innovative. Make the market work. Well, Sergio, I think all of us are very fortunate. Some more than others, and some people, especially in this industry, I truly think that we're the crafters. We are the people that give everyone else the information that they're looking for. So I always look at any kind of sign maker, anyone that's in this industry. I always look at us as a specialty market, and we're all pretty fortunate to do what we do. And again, like I said, make the market work. Yeah, I mean it's been a long uphill struggle, but yeah, I can truly say that instead of me working for the business definitely works for me at this point. It's taken a really, really long time to get to that point. A lot of struggling, a lot of errors, a lot of freaking mistakes, a lot of costly mistakes. So yeah, Chris, you're more than welcome. Again, I take stuff for granted. So if and I tend to ramble a little bit, but yeah, it's really not a problem. I hope that it works well for you, or you get some information, or at least try to figure out what way. And there's something else when we started out, and everyone has to figure out what their bottom line is and figure out what they need to charge. The program that got me to the point where we are now, that I could give you the answers, was the program called Estimate. It was a monthly subscription software, but it takes all the guesswork out of everything. I mean, and I know that there's Shopbox. I know that Shopbox, we were looking at it, but it just seemed like it was too much, and the cost we just really couldn't justify with the amount of people that we had in the shop when we were kind of winding stuff down. So yeah, I mean, if you're just looking for pricing, if it's just you and maybe one or two other people, I would look at Estimate. It asks all the right questions, and you'll never get a wrong number from it. But that's where I based our shop rate from, is learning and remembering what Estimate asked us, and kind of getting to the bottom line of all of your overhead, your mortgage, your utilities, and all that other stuff, and figure out what you have to pay, and then figure out how much more that you want to make. So yeah, you're more than welcome. And like I said, if you have any questions, like anyone else, like I said, shoot me an email, give me a call. I'll be more than happy to chat with you. And was it Chris? I bought a print shop 3 years with no knowledge of the business, and it has been one hell of a learning curve. Yeah, buddy, wait until you spell shit wrong. Then you'll figure it out. That was our big learning curve. The more mistakes we made, or the more mistakes that I made, the faster I learned. And we've made our fair share of mistakes. I mean, and again, that's why we're fortunate to be at this point. Lucky to be able to tell our story, to the people that are willing to listen. And, thank you all for tuning in and listening to me. But all the best. Like I said, if you ever have any questions, like I said, I tell everyone else, I'm here. I may not have the right answer, but I'll give you my 2 cents. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Henry, I'm new to the large format printing industry, trying to narrow down stock in just a few printable vinyl that I can use across many uses. Any suggestions? Well, I'm partial to Substance, and actually, Substance sent me some shirts, thanks to you all. So the material that we print on is primarily adhesive-based stuff. And so I've come to the conclusion that we stock 4 types of printable vinyl, basically religiously. And I use Substance like 85% of the time. I mean, there's other material that we use, but you're not going to find a better brand it's good stuff. It's better than, I wouldn't say it's better than, it's comparable to any of the big brands of the Orcal, the 3M, the Avery, the Arlon. I don't even, there's Genuine Formulation. You got all sorts of off brands. I've used Grimco, Brightline stuff, and, Substance. For general use outdoor vinyl, they're 2175, I believe, and their 3150 laminate is like my go-to. The second material that I print on a lot is the General Formulations, the 222. It's a 6 mil matte finish, and we don't laminate it. It's basically what we quote our peel and stick type of material. The stuff that we print and we just send it off to the customer, let them pull it off and stick it on whatever they're going to stick it on. It's got a fairly high tack, so I'm fairly confident that, when they get it and they stick it on something, it's not going to fall off. We use white static cling, and I have some clear static cling, and I also have some Avery. What is it? The 1000 whatever their cast. I don't even know what it is. It's the wrap cast. 1105. It's the 1105 EZ in that laminate. So when the customer requests something, super high performance, I've got a roll of it sitting over there on the wall, over there on the wall. I'll get it right. So yeah, and then banner material. That's basically it. That's what I have for stock. So yeah, that would be my suggestions for material use. Obviously, I think, Henry, you run the HP, so you can run 54-inch media, and that's probably the biggest crunch. But I explained this to someone, I think it was Ken or someone else that I was talking to. So Substance will cut rolls down for free, and they ship for free too. So they have 2 locations, one in California, one in North Carolina. If you call them up and you just want some general information, you'll probably talk to Dan. Tell them that Sean from My Candy Sign sent you. They're great people to work with. It's just really good material. The rest of the stuff, I just think it just depends on who you're comfortable with as a supplier. I think Dom and we had this conversation on my other live that I haven't had a good, supplier rep in quite a while. So I just have to do my own research, and I call Fellers, Tube Light, Grimco, N-Glance, whoever, my list of suppliers are, who's got what and how much is it and when can I get it. So those are my big questions for what kind of material that I get when, because a lot of the stuff we don't actually apply. It's more of we just kind of print it, cut it, stick it in a box, and send it on to the customer. So hopefully that helps you out. So we'll move on to Johnny. Watch a bunch of woodpeckers, and they're always building work tables for the product assembly. Look for a torsion block workbench. I'm not a woodworker, but I can cut stuff on the CNC. Like I said, I know how to use a jigsaw and a saber saw or a table saw. That's probably about it. It's thank you for that. I've not heard of the software, but we'll definitely check it out. Yeah, Chris, check them out. They're definitely worth looking into. It's a minimal investment, and the good thing about Estimate is once you gather all that data, it's hard to let it go. But if you have it for about 6 months and you kind of use it, you can kind of let it go, and it'll give you all your square foot. It'll, all your the products that you sell the most. It'll give you a better idea for what to charge for those things. And then you kind of deal with it. I don't remember what it was. I thought it was, I don't know. I think like $30-40 a month, but it's been years, at least 2.5 years since we used it. So, awesome. I enjoy watching your videos. Also learn a lot. Thank you for all you do. You're welcome, Sheldon. I appreciate you tuning in and listening to my gibberish. And Junior, what RIP software do you use? I use. I am still on Flexi. I think it's 13. It was. I think one of the last versions that Flexi had that still have the dongles. So I am my Flexi is bought and paid for. It's not cloud based. It's dongle driven, but I have both. I have 10 and I think 13 on that computer back air. So that's my RIP station, and so it does cutting and the printing. And I do surf the net a little bit with it. Gonna print some orders out, but yeah. So I use Flexi for my RIP, and it's just because I understand it. I know that there's Onyx, there's other HP, and everyone has their own proprietary software. It's just what I learned when we had our first cutter, and we had LXI software, which is kind of like when Sign Warehouse was working with Flexi. SAI was basically, it looked identical to Flexi, except the file extension was different. It was called LXI instead of FX or whatever Flexi, the extension for Flexi is FS. So I was just always comfortable using LXI, and the transition for me into Flexi was really easy once we got our first inkjet printer. And again, I like Flexi because it has everything. It's your design, it's your cut, and it's your print, and it's all right there. And I hear, drop and drag in your print file, and then you got to, I don't know, for your cut files. It just makes it really easy for me. So, but appreciate you watching. Things in the visual communication market are changing very fast. Do you see a safe direction to go? Well, I'm a pessimist, so I'm not very optimistic about things. I'm a doer and I'm a problem solver. When me and my wife decided to take this venture on again, I was always good at the creative problem solving kind of things, and so we kind of came to this agreement that I can do the sign work, and I can be creative, and I can make everything work on that aspect. I said, but the business end, I said, I suck at. I said, I hate it, and I just don't mind doing it. Didn't want to do it, but she's like, I'll do it. So, and that's where she's the yin to the yang, and we have it works really well because she's very, very passive, and she's very optimistic. So she always kind of evens me out with a lot of that stuff. But the direction of the way that the market is, I'm actually surprised. So if you had told me that I would have made more money selling my signs online than people walking into my shop, I would have told you that you're full of crap. Being in the industry for God, I don't know. I got to figure out a number. It's been 25 years since I first started. But on this venture where we're at right now, we've been eye candy signs, I think, for 13, 14 years, something like that, somewhere in that area. Basically, you just have to start with an idea. You never know what's going to take off. You never know what the next latest, greatest thing is going to be. And I'm always inspired by looking around and seeing what other people do, and seeing what they do always inspires me to kind of push myself to learn that technique or that trick, or try to evolve on what they're doing. Everyone, I don't care who they are, and I've said this from the get-go, everyone's always going to need a sign. It doesn't matter what industry that you're in, whether you're, making channel letters, or if you're just doing vehicle lettering. Just find something that, part of the industry that you enjoy doing. I like I said, I'm in the fishing industry, and then I was in the racing industry, and so I kind of combined. Well, I can do I've got sign related equipment, so I'm going to focus on sprint car numbers and stock car lettering and stuff like that. That's like a whole new market over there. Well, now that I got back into RC cars, there's a whole big market into that. So I think the safe direction to go is just do what you want to do what you enjoy doing, because it makes it so much more worthwhile. If you're stuck in a shop for 10 to 12 hours just doing crap that you don't want to do, you're going to get burned out, and it's not going to be rewarding. So and I can honestly say that I've enjoyed working on signs and doing those things for the last 7-8 years. At first it was a grind trying to get everything figured out, but the safe direction is just do what you want to do what you enjoy doing, make it worth your while, and you'll go far. Because if you're happy, like I said, this business finally works for us. We're not working for it anymore. So what did I say, Henry? Really, I'm in Southern California. I have Flexi 21 subscription. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just I've got software on my shelf that I've bought and paid for, and I just want to own it. I don't like leasing and stuff like that. I'm not saying it's bad. Everyone's different, and I know that this day and age is totally different than where it was 5-10 years ago. So I wouldn't see it as a side problem. I didn't mean to come off like that, but it is what it is. I know that someone was having a problem with their rip. I think it was Junior, but I don't know. Hey buddy, if it works for you, it works for you, and there's nothing wrong with that. Chris, so do I. It hurts a bit at $50 a month, but I really do like the software. It's worth it. It'll help you grow. I guarantee it. And it'll help. Like I said, with me, someone can ask me a question, Sean, what do you charge for this? And I just know off the top of my head. I really don't even have to really, well, it depends on who the person is. And sometimes it'll cost them a little bit more depending on whether I really want to do it or not. Some projects I get very excited. Some things are just kind of like everyday ho-hum kind of stuff, but it's good stuff. Waldo 2413, great videos and content. Appreciate it. Thank you for watching. I remember LXI, my first cutter from Signing Warehouse years ago. Yeah, buddy, it was years ago. It was a long time ago, and it was before. So my first version of Flexi was 7.6. If that's any kind of relevation, it's God. Is it 10, 12 years ago? 13, something like that? I don't know. It's been a long time. LXI, yeah, I cut my teeth on the Roland Sticka. You remember that, Henry? STIKA, the Roland Sticka. It had the 15-inch. I was big time back in, and I still screwed a lot of crap up too. It was bad. That thing was slower than dirt. But anyways, like I said, we outgrew it at about 3 months, and then that's when we went to the 24-inch. I think to the there was the white Vinyl Express cutter, and was it the GRC 61? I always want to say the GCC Panther was the gray one, and then maybe it was the GRC 61. But anyways, yeah, LXI, good stuff. Do you have any good file format stories? What, the one where the employee tried to steal all of our files? Yeah. So we at one point in time, we had 7 employees total, and we had 3 cut stations and 1 print station set up. And with the way that the Amazon orders came in, we were up to, and this was in the heyday. This was, I don't know, 8 years ago, when like we were just like rode that niche with Amazon, where we were shipping 250 packages plus a day. So there was a young man that was employed by us, and he actually came in on Saturday. And I think there were 2 other girls that were working there that day, and I can't remember. It was Kelsey and Kelsey and Casey, I think. Anyways, it's not really relevant. So at that time, we didn't have to go in the shop all the time. Basically, they came in, someone printed out orders. The orders got split up depending on who was cutting, who was printing. And we tried to rotate them so that they would all kind of learn, this is how you print, this is how you cut. And one always knew a little bit more than others, so we didn't always have to be there. But we had this great thing called this, it was remote viewing software. So at any time from the house, we could just kind of chime in on whatever computer that we wanted to. And he was funny because he always wanted the scraps of all the vinyl that was cut. And I told him, I said, I don't care. I said, if it's something that was intended to go in the trash, I said, by all means, go ahead and just take it. Well, looking through the cameras, because obviously we had, camera systems set up too. I mean, he was taking boxes of stuff home. And I'm like, holy crap, did we generate that much scrap? But I'm like, I really don't care. It was a Saturday. The wife and I, we were going to Sam's Club. And at that time, it took us an hour and a half to get to Sam's Club, just because we were so remote. And I just happened to drop in on a camera on one of the computers, and the computer that he was working on, I seen the box for file transfer in progress. And I thought to myself, what the hell is he transferring files? There's nothing, there's nothing there. All the files were on a server. So all you have to do, he clicked the one, he opened it, he cut it, and he closed it, and then went back on the server. And then so everyone else could access the same stuff. So and again, like I said, this is fuzzy. I just kind of remember the main points of it. He, I think he ended up transferring all of our production files. And at that point in time, we probably had 2,000 or so. I got upset knowing that when I went back through the Windows log file that there was a transfer. And I saw it went from one device to another device. And long story short, he was transferring our production files, our cut-ready files, onto his phone. So he had his phone hooked up to the computer, and he was taking and he was selling our production files. I saw him on Facebook. He was trying to do some stuff, but yeah, that was the day that I caught him. Came screaming back into the shop, asked him what he was doing. I basically, in a nutshell, I couldn't say that he was stealing anything because I technically still had to prove it, but I knew I had documentation from the Windows log file that he was transferring something, and I asked him what he was transferring. He said nothing. So long story short, I gave him the better end of the stick, and I told him, I said, if he stole anything, I said, we're going to be watching him. He was not, he was in the reserves, and we didn't really want to screw his life. I was adamant about calling the cops on him, but the wife said, just let it go. She said it's kind of petty. So long story short, yeah, so someone did try to steal all of our files, one of the people that we actually employed. Other than that, I kind of keep them under lock and key anymore. So many people have access to them, but other than that, so anyways, yeah, file format stories. I don't know if does that qualify? I don't know if it really does. Hey Ben, how you doing, buddy? Due to your space limitations, you have to look out for different direction for your printing needs. I can refer you to some other wholesale printers if you're interested. Just reach out to me, send me an email, and I can give you their information depending on what you want to do. Good to hear from you. Hope you're doing well. Did you ever get those samples? Let me know. What's been the weirdest thing that I've been asked to make from Sheldon? I wouldn't say it was weird. It was just kind of beyond my comfort zone. I know when anime was popular, and I had a buddy in West Virginia, and his name was Justin. I don't know if he subscribes to my channel or if he even knows what's going on. Well, he started. I've known Justin for a long, long time, and he's always wanted to get in the sign industry, and he helped me. He was kind of like my go-to guy back in my previous days, And so Justin, he got into the sign industry. Well, I told him, I said, yeah, you know, we got this printer, you know, we can cut, we can do all this crazy stuff and everything. He said, hey, he said, I got a file. He said, I can't get anyone to print it. He said, would you print it? And I'm like, well, yeah, sure. I don't see why not. You know, send it over to me. Well, long story short, it was an anime where the girl had her butt up in the air, you know, when you put gas in your tank. And so you all get the visual and the picture. And that was probably the weirdest thing that I was asked to print. And I gracefully declined. We had employees. I could have printed it, but what they say, the juice isn't worth the squeeze, so to speak. So I don't know if he ever found anyone to print it, but that was one of those things. I'm like, no, I've kind of like draw the line on stuff like that, even for friends. So, all right. Ben Designs, just to stick with vinyl lettering with special effects. Yeah. No, yeah, Substance, not Substrate, Substance. Substance has a, sorry, Henry. Yeah, Substance has a manufacturing plant in California and in North Carolina. Substance Incorporated. Go ahead and Google them and reach out to Dan. I can't remember the other guy's name. I remember Dan like nothing, but there's two guys that run the company, and yeah, it's Substance Incorporated. You don't remember the Roland sticker? I think you're fibbing. There's a lot of things that show our age. Like I said, I think, what is it? The Print Shop. I was watching his video, and he had some old logos that brought back some memories for me, and they were super nostalgic, I should say. Definitely showed my age. So, Ben, samples not yet. They're on their way, buddy. I guarantee. I think when I sent them out last Friday, I think. They went snail mail. They went first class mail. So, just let me know. Be happy to help you. Again, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Like I said, this is a good time for me. Like I said, I could do this. I could do this all day long, and this is why I never get anything done. I'm Mr. Procrastinator. It's good stuff. But I appreciate everyone tuning in and all the likes and subscribes and all that stuff. Like I said, I never thought in a million years that I'd connect with so many like-minded people. So it's very much appreciated. Thank you all. Hey Fred, when did you place the order from them? Actually, yeah, I think Dan did reach out to me. Hold on, let me. I'm wearing my Green Pond hoodie right now. Like I said, I earned this one too, but it's what's underneath that counts. And if that doesn't say how partial I am, then I don't know what will. Thank you, Fred. They also sent me a hat, but it's too big for my head. Yeah, I think he reached out to me about that time. I don't know how long that I've had the shirts and the hats and stuff, but it's funny that when I talked to Dan, they were actually talking about developing some new materials. So they're working on and possibly coming to market with some new material with actually a cast material. So. I had a Roland PNC 1100. You were a powerhouse back in the day. Peter, I had the PC60. Oh my God, that thing was horrible. I mean, it was badass when we got it to work right, but printing a 1/2 inch wide, it was crazy. You're welcome, Fred. Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate the referral too. Like I said, it just helps me get information, and I like relaying information to everyone here too. I reach out to Matthews. They make one shot, and then especially with a company like Substance, again, like I said, I can't say enough good things about them. Like I said, they're just a great company. It's a great media. It's a great product, and I wish that people would. I don't know, would know more about them, and that's why I've always said it was kind of like my little brand secret here. So it was my inside thing that I kept a lot to myself, and so yeah, just sharing that with you all. But how you doing, Alex? Peter, the PNC 1100, that was just the cutter there. That wasn't the printer, right? The old serial connection, or was it parallel? It was an old parallel connection. Oh God. I don't know if they'll ship to Canada, Alex. I'm pretty sure they will. I don't know if any of you, if you all watch Lee Stewart on YouTube. He's primarily a screen printer, but he does some vinyl graphics and stuff as well. Super cool guy. I wish I knew him in person. But I know Lee uses Substance as well. And so he either had it sent, from Substance. Like I said, it either comes from California or it comes from North Carolina, depending on what part of the country that you're in. Yeah, it's I'm sure they'll ship it to you. I know that they ship to the U.S. for free, so there may be a little tariff charge or something like that if you're going into Canada. But again, like I said, you're not even. I guarantee you that even if you have to pay the tariffs, it's still going to be cheaper than Avery, Arlon, 3M, or Oracal. So yeah, I know I've gotten to the point where I've held on to industry secrets, stuff that I've learned for long enough. Like I said, and this is why I'm here. This is why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's to help everyone else out. I know that we struggled with a lot of stuff, and again, like I said, I wish that I had someone that I could just reach out to and say, hey, how do you do this, or how do you do that, or I want to get into this, I want to get into that, and a lot of the stuff was trial and error. Like I said, I screwed a lot of stuff up, and there's a lot of things that I would never go back to ever doing again. But absolutely. Fred. Oh, yeah, man, that's all I use now. See, ask Fred. Ask Fred how good it is. There is no comparison. There's just, it's great. It's great media. Yeah, but now he don't want to tell that info. Yeah. I tell you, so call Substance directly, Alex, and just tell them that you're in Canada and you need some material, and I'm sure that they will do whatever they can to make sure that you get what you need. Peter, the last time that I saw a sprocket-fed plotter was when I used to work for another sign shop that had an old Gerber edge, and that was the last time that I saw. I don't even know if they make sprocket. No, they would have to make sprocket plotters. They still make 15-inch vinyl with sprockets in them. The 30-inch vinyl is still sprocket fed too. I can't imagine just the vinyl manufacturers perforating the vinyl and not having a machine to run it in. I don't think they're as common anymore. I just don't think not really sure. Like I said, the things were accurate as hell. God, you could run 50 yards through there and it'd never skew or stray. But hey, Sergio, we're going to keep this clean, buddy. I think I don't want to get political with anything here. I have my opinion, and everyone else does too. But you know what? I don't control the world. I'm just a wart on the ass of society. My opinion doesn't mean squat. I'm here just to be happy, and that's the reality. So yeah, that's about all I'm going to say on that. I really don't want to go there. I'm glad you laughed about that. What do I think about business and the economy? Business is relative. I mean, business is all what you make of it. Business is how, basically what you put in, you'll get out. The economy, I mean, we've seen some decline. Like I said, all of our materials have gone up. I mean, there is inflation, and I would say that, across the board, substrate materials, vinyl, all that stuff, yeah, it's going up, but at the same time, again, I just find that I'm fortunate, it's, we've worked really hard. Well, somewhat. I put a little effort into it, but we've been fortunate, that we worry about it. We just, there's nothing we can do about it. If I get out there and hustle and, make more phone calls and all that other stuff, it's I could probably make a lot more money. I'm not rich by any means. We pay our bills just like everybody else. Sometimes they're month to month. Sometimes we do better than others. But, hey, we're getting along like everybody else. And again, like I said, there's just not really much that we can do. We just focus on what we want to do and how we want to do it. And just be grateful that we still have, a roof over our head and, the lights are on, we got food on the table. And as long as you're okay with that and, you're happy with that, then, life is pretty simple. That's all that really matters, family and all good stuff like that. So, and Henry, I get Oracal cheap from Sign Mart here in SoCal, but I've been using the HP Gloss Prime Air. Got to check out Substance. Henry, I'm telling you got to check out Substance. I never priced the HP stuff, but I always assumed that it was proprietary because you have the HP printer. That they say that this media is paired with this profile, and so it all just prints perfectly, and there's no thinking involved, and it just perfect. I think it's just a selling ploy. I honestly think printer manufacturers, once they sell you the printer, I mean, think about it. HP couldn't stay in business if they just sold equipment. They still have to sell ink and consumables and stuff like that, and that's where they make their money. I mean, they make some money on the printer, but they don't survive off of that. So it's like Mutoh telling me that you have to run these MS-31 inks or the sky is going to fall. And I run MS-30. I run Mutoh inks because I don't want a problem with my head. I've been told by tech support not to run third-party inks with my printer, and that was directly from the tech's mouth, saying that they had lots of printers with lots of problems because of aftermarket ink. So anyways, so printer manufacturers have to make money somewhere, and so obviously if they not trap you, but persuade you to use their media and use their ink and give you, it's still under warranty and all this other stuff, 3.5 years later, my printer is still technically under warranty, but it doesn't mean crap. It's not like they're going to take it back. They're just going to walk me through the phone saying, we'll try this and fix that. But, definitely try the Substance. I'm a firm believer that once you try it, like I said, that HP stuff, I don't know. Like I said, I've never used it. I've never seen it. I've never touched it. Never printed on it. So I'm sure that it's been good stuff for you. But yeah, check out Substance Inc. Call Dan and tell him Sean from Eye Candy Sign sent you, and I need a new shirt. Actually, I need a hoodie. No, I'm kidding. It's still chilly in South Carolina. I need a hoodie. All right, so Fred, I've used it all, 3M Orajet, etc. For the price, you can't beat it. You're right, Fred. And again, like I said, it's good stuff. Substance is good stuff. So Henry, if you're still debating it, like I said, look at Fred, look at Fred's comments, and like I said, ask him because I think he's tried it all, and I've tried it all too. And like I said, there is no comparison. So Yeah, Sheldon, I like that your wife is probably telling her friends that you were in the shop playing with your imaginary friends online. No, no, my wife, she, she gives me crap. I'm not gonna lie, she does give me crap, and it's uh, I'm not gonna say anything, but no, she's definitely my crutch. I mean, she's definitely the yin to the yang kind of thing. She definitely balances me out and keeps me going in the right direction. But no, she fully encourages me. My wife is an introvert. I am the extrovert. I'm the one that talks to everybody, every time, anywhere, for hours and hours at just about any given time. She's the type that goes in for one thing, she comes back out, she has an agenda, she's done, she goes home. She is not a people person. She doesn't like people. She likes books, and I'm fortunate that she likes me, so she tolerates me, I guess. But yeah, my wife, she worked really hard too. Like I said, she's working on some stuff, and sometimes people just get lucky. And again, without her, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you all. Like I said, because she was the motivation to start this. And so she said, if they can do it, you can do it. And that's been our philosophy for a long time. If you look out and you see someone, whether it's Corvette or, whatever, if they do it, if they can do it, you can do it. There's nothing holding any of us back from doing, what we want to do. So, and to add, Sheldon, my wife's probably watching this too. So love you, hon. Yeah. Alex. It's insane how much the transport across the U.S. It's insane. It's insane how much the transport across the U.S. is cheap. Here in Canada, what's with TR2 ink, and that cost me $60. Alex, it's crazy for everything. I mean, just the logistics and now we ship exclusively with FedEx and well, I use FedEx for all the signs. I don't even use UPS anymore. And the reason, well, again, FedEx is the only company that I have a local rep for. If I have a problem, an issue, anything, I just reach out to Alex either by email, cell phone, and he's right there. And FedEx gave us much more competitive rates as long as we were shipping with them. When we were shipping, 250 packages a day, we were using UPS. But they basically trapped us into a contract for about, I don't know what it was, 3 years, 5 years or something like that. They basically built a program, a ship program, as long as we used FedEx. Is it Smart Post back then? Is it SurePost? SurePost or Smart Post? I know FedEx has one and UPS has the other. Anyways, yeah, and so we kept that FedEx account for a very, very long, or I'm sorry, we kept that UPS account for a very, very long time. And basically, they stopped giving us a rate because we were no longer a commercial established. Well, we were Zone 0, which means that we were still technically a commercial business. When we sold and we moved to where we are now, we are technically in a residential neighborhood, and UPS would not ever look past that. No matter how much that we shipped, it didn't make a difference. With FedEx, it's about volume. They don't care where you're at. So, we save about 20%, 25% on FedEx over UPS, and we just kind of never look back. And support has a lot to do with it as well. Cost, obviously, we don't want to pay any more for anything than what you have to. But yeah, buddy, it's probably going to get worse with the logistics and the cost of shipping goods. And same as Roland and 3M. Yeah. Sergio, you are a great man. Keep up your beautiful work. That's what matters. I wish you family health. Same to you, buddy. Like I said, all the best. Hopefully, hopefully it all works out for you. Like I said, if they do it, you can do it. That's the mentality. Henry. Yeah, tech support really isn't that. I remember trying to get help with, said I got my HP 115. I got more help from you on YouTube and figure out what my. And I'm not even an HP guy. I have no idea how the hell those things run. All I know is that you had to replace the print cartridges instead of. I guess they're just disposable things now. But glad I could help you, buddy. I'll send you the bill. Oh, good Lord. Yeah, Henry. So when we were up north and we had the commercial account, I fished with two of the I mean, there was two local drivers that came through, and I had their cell phones. I mean, I could run and meet up with them, and it was good. FedEx really sucked in the area that we were from when we were working with UPS, and like I said, since we moved, we're no longer at a commercial location. We're deemed residential, but moved away from all that, and FedEx just really doesn't seem to care. They take better care of us than UPS does. Excuse me. Yeah, I used to call my UPS driver. I'm like, where are you at? I need this, I need that. He said, well, I'm over here, and I'd hop in my truck and I'd just go meet him and pick the stuff up and go back to the shop instead of waiting 2 or 3 hours for them to drop and all that other good stuff. So Sheldon, my problem is I get a lot of business because I don't charge enough, but I am afraid of raising my prices. Sheldon, I mean this with all sincerity. It's okay, to raise your prices. I've gotten to the point over the last 2 years, I price to the point where the market won't bear any more than what I'm willing to charge. But I almost sell myself now. I sell a product, but I have a lot of knowledge and I explain to customers a lot of the time. It's very rare that I do a job that I don't get paid up front, because then I'm just not interested. I know that there'll be, 20 more people that walk through that door that are willing to hand me money than that one person that wants to see a proof before they, put down $500 on a sign. And that person, I just don't entertain it. So, and I can totally relate. But, just start 10, 15%. To say, and that between me and you all, the way that the economy is, I have raised my prices another 20%, because it's hard getting vinyl. It costs more to get material. It's like I have to spend more time on the phone looking for this and looking for that makes the product that I'm trying to sell. But I'm not bashful. And to be honest, people are totally understanding of that. So don't be afraid to charge more. I mean, just like go across the board and just say 20% on top of that. And once you start weeding people out, people say, oh my God, you're so expensive. You're like, well, good work ain't cheap. Yeah. And Henry has a good point, and I'll speak from experience. So through Amazon, when me and my wife first started selling on Amazon, I had a different mindset than what she did. So I put more value on myself than what I should have, to be totally honest. There were a lot of companies that competed with us that we saw over the last, and I could say 10 years, that never survived. I guess they just sold stuff way too cheap, and that was kind of the whole thing, where we kind of got back to our roots of just kind of keeping stuff simple. Just pay cash for stuff. We're not financing. We're not going to stretch ourselves out. No more business loans. None of that. But yeah, we've seen quite a few people go under because they never charged enough. They were busy as hell. Always busy, but never really making enough money to justify the time. Johnny has a very good point too. That's again, like I said, everyone in the sign industry, you are a specialized service. That's how you have to keep. You're a professional and you specialize in a service, people pay you for your knowledge. Whether you've been in the industry for 2 years or 5 years or 10 years or 20 years, it doesn't matter. And that's how I see myself as well. Like I said, I don't like to toot my own horn, but yeah, it's the service and the knowledge goes a long way, especially for customers. But I'm also going to say it's really hard to break away from that kind of stuff too. You'll find people keep coming back to you just because you're cheap. But if they're true customers, then it should work out for you. But yeah, there's product involved and service in the relationship and service after the sale. I've always said that, so I'm a one-man show. If you got a problem, you got a question, you come talk to me. I was like, I'm not going to push you off on somebody else or whatever. And I generally try to take care of customers first and foremost. But the other key thing is I try to make sure, or I try to anticipate that there aren't going to be any problems to begin with. As long as I'm honest and upfront with people about realistic goals as far as sign life or lettering or this looks good or that looks good. And that's I think that speaks volumes as well. So Henry, I'm a pastor first in life, and people think they can get things from me for cheap. I consistently tell people that I don't do cheap. If I decide to give a discount, it's because I want to do it. You're right. Like I said, there's things that I give away that I do just because I enjoy doing them and I enjoy being around the people. It's just another perk of the job. It's not. It's around the people that it's about the people that you surround yourself with as well. So, yeah, buddy, don't be afraid to raise prices. Like I said, if you're working, 10, 12-hour days and things are tight and like I say, you just need to charge more money. You'll feel so much better about yourself, and you'll get so much more self-worth. When you finally realize what people already know is that you're number one, that you're worth it, and they get a great service and they get a great product from you, and that'll keep people coming back anyway. So I never worried about cost. Yeah, and there's also needs and wants too. So Henry's right. Support and try to get setting up my 115. Yeah, I already read through that. Ship with UPS. So I think I got through a lot of this stuff too. Peter, have you ever tried anything on sailboat sails that needed to flex? I can tell you that standard cast vinyl, I mean, you can use 651 regular vinyl. It will stick to it. It won't stick to it very long. If you use cast vinyl, it'll stick to it a little bit longer. But it depends on how they store the sails, to be honest with you. I used to do small private aircrafts. Used to do, air numbers or end numbers on the airplanes and a lot of graphics and stuff. But I'm not really sure how they do that. I'm sure that it has to be some sort of HTV or something. Or some of them, I don't know if screen print would actually last, but I'm pretty sure that it's HTV. I've never done anything, but I know that temporarily it will stick for a while, I think. It's like those pop-up tents. You can do vinyl temporary on that stuff too. Of course, it doesn't stay just because it's once it gets crinkled up, once the vinyl starts drying out, then it'll probably end up flaking off. Sorry, just checking my mail. Yeah, I'm with you, Henry. Some people, some people spend their money on the craziest thing. It's like my wife. She's so frugal about certain things, and my wife is about experiences. She's not a material girl at all. Um, but so if if she's into experiences and going seeing new places and traveling. If you tell her that a new pair of shoes is $100, she'd look at you and she'd laugh all the way. No, hell no, But if a cruise comes up, oh, it's a $6,000 cruise. She's like, shut up and take my money. It's just that's what she. Me, on the other hand, I'm impulsive with things that I want to do. Um, I don't know. I tell you I think the biggest mistake that we ever made was actually opening up a retail store, and we tried it twice, and it totally bombed. We wasted so much money doing that. But yeah, you're right. But I think everyone is different when in what their interests are. So, see, I could never imagine. I've been wearing the same pair of shoes for like 2 years. I mean, I wear jeans until you can't wear them anymore. Hoodies. It's like I worked hard for this hoodie, and so I get a new wardrobe like once a year. So I get 2 new hoodies from volunteering for some of this stuff. But that's where I get my new clothes from. Like I said, it's rare for me to go out and spend good money on clothes, just because I'm to the point where I don't care. I just want to be comfortable. So. Henry, I placed Orcal vinyl on my jet ski in 2007, and it's still on them. A little faded, but still there. Good luck trying to get that stuff off, sir. How do you like selling on Etsy? I've always wanted to get into it. I have a brick and mortar store for 7 years now and want to expand more. Fred, Etsy's not what it used to be. It just depends on how you look at it. I mean, again, like I said, if you work hard at anything, you can make it work. I fell behind in technology, I guess, as far as understanding how Etsy algorithms work. Last year during COVID, our sales, our views, our just everything was through the roof. We were up like 60%. It was everything that I could do to keep up. And I got so frustrated just because I said I was only one guy and I could only do so much. But Etsy is different from Amazon and it's different from eBay. And each one has its good points and its bad points. I hopped on YouTube today and somehow there was a live stream of a couple that sell a bunch of stuff on Etsy, and there was this. I think they had talked about a website, and God, I can't remember the name of it. And let me see if I can open it back up here. Shoot. God, I don't remember. Oh, here it is. It was called E-Rank, and essentially what it does is it takes with E-Rank, you let it look at your Etsy tags, titles, descriptions, and all that other stuff, and it basically compares you against everyone else that's selling basically the same thing. And it was kind of shocking when I saw how we compared to what everyone else does, and it just shows you that you need to stay up on this stuff. So it's Etsy is good, and I always felt that Etsy kind of let me work at my own pace instead of being pushed. I'm not I don't work well when I'm pushed. I don't work well when I'm stressed and under pressure. I generally have to go at my own pace, and it's Etsy has done us well. But again, like I said, we've been on Etsy for, I don't know, 12 or 13 years. We've got 12,000 feedback, and we've got like product listing, and it's just Etsy. Etsy's been good to us. I mean, Amazon was good to us too, but hands down, we made a hell of a lot more money on Amazon than we ever did on Etsy. But it was always, looking ahead and don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's kind of what it was, and it's a good thing because we went away from Amazon, and then we went right back. We went into Etsy, and we were doing eBay, and those two paid off tremendously. So with Etsy. I think last year we grossed, I'm just going to say $100,000. Okay. On average, at a majority of the stuff that we sold on Etsy is more sign related. So on average, my sale was about 100, probably somewhere closer to about 80, maybe about $80 per item, somewhere in that area. No, it was more than that. It was 100,000. So times 12 is more like 120. Sorry, it was about $120 a sale. So when you look at, I guess, how much time that I truly spend working in production when I'm not just sitting here at the computer or designing or tinkering around with something else. Etsy's worth it, but again, like I said, it takes time. And if you're thinking about doing it, the time to start is now. Don't procrastinate. Don't put it off. You have to start now. Kind of get stuff going. It helps you understand, how it works. And Etsy people are totally different than Amazon people. They're totally different than eBay people. They're like, I don't know. I just call them a little more human, a little more sympathetic. A little more reasonable, I guess. But again, like I said, Etsy changed their ways, their algorithms, the way that people are found, and the way that they rate sellers. And one thing that I tend to agree with a lot of the other people is that Etsy started this star seller thing, which it measures three parts of your business. It's what is it? Shipping time, message communication, and God, what was the other thing? Let me go back here and look because I tend to forget. So it's your message response time, it's your 5-star rating, and your on-time shipping and tracking. And what this kind of came about because there were a lot of people from Amazon over the last year and a half that came to Etsy during the pandemic, during COVID and stuff. And so a lot of those Amazon and eBay people didn't realize or understand how Etsy worked. And so, like me, if someone reached out and said, hey, Sean, I want to sign, and I get back to you in 24, 30, whatever, in a day or two. And, a lot of Amazon people just wanted stuff like now, and it didn't happen. It was a custom product. It took 2 or 3 weeks, whatever, and people just didn't understand that. So Etsy started this stupid star seller thing, and I wouldn't say that it's hurt, but it definitely hasn't helped anything. But if you're interested in getting started on Etsy, that's a big market too. That's something that's kind of up and coming. Like Amazon, we kind of got on Amazon. I don't know if it's peaked or it's peaking or, whatever, at least from our market, when we were in the niche market, and we were kind of like riding the crust of that wave until it kind of fell on itself and washed away some of the sand and just went away with the sunset. But no, the thing to do is just, start something small. Again, do something, that you like doing. The sky's the limit on Etsy. I mean, they do vehicle lettering and magnets and house numbers and CNC and printing, and I mean, just like everything else. But you kind of work one-on-one with the customer. So unless you have a product that you're selling. So I buy Gildan for very cheap, and it's good like that. I used to buy Gildan. I think they were the G5000s. That's where all that crap from F&M Expressions went. That's what all those shirts were on. Those were all Gildan shirts. So I used to buy Gildan, but I think they shrink too much for me. Yeah, I'm with you, Henry. I kind of tend to agree. They were just one of those cheap. Yeah, just one of those kind of go-to shirts, and I know that I haven't bought a shirt in God knows how long. So. You're welcome, Fred. Like I say, you just got to, start. Like I said, things don't happen overnight, so. What else we got, guys? Got anything else going on? Anything else you want me to ramble on about? Again, I appreciate y'all tuning in and chatting and taking the time to go through. And it's not only, like I said, me communicating with you. Like I said, you're also communicating with other like-minded people too, which I find is really cool as well. So. Relationships and, communication. Some people do, some stuff that I'm just not willing to do. By the way, I need someone to make me some t-shirts. I need some Sound Guy t-shirts and maybe a hat. I don't know, but it's got to be a fitted hat. I can't let my hummingbird hat. This is when I tournament fish. A lot of people, anyways, it is what it is. Anyone else? Anything? Hey, Peter, thank you for tuning in. It's 3 in the... Oh, my God. Buddy, I'd be snoring. Like I said, the wife be kicking me right now, 3 in the morning. It's 9 p.m. Eastern time here in South Carolina. So it's not that late, but if it shows my age, yeah, I'm getting tired. Hey, I do appreciate you all tuning in and chatting with me. Like I said, I appreciate it. I think I have a better time than you all do. So, but it's good stuff. And if I can ever help with anything else, or you all make contact with any of these other people, then by all means, like I said, I hope it helps you out. So. Fred, how do you like your cutter? I had a Graphtec for a couple years, and I just got a motherboard error on it. Fred, I'll tell you, I love my cutter. Well, I love everything except for one thing, and this stupid thing has been driving me nuts for a long time. I'll have to do a video on it. It's the little bump stops on the printer carriage that just stick onto the back rail, and they end up falling off all the time. They get stuck inside it's a pain. It's probably one of the stupidest thing that Graphtec's ever done. As far as the machine goes, Yeah, I think they're good. You know, I'm not brand specific. I know that Suma makes some good stuff, and even some other, U.S. cutter stuff. If that's the road you want to go down, Roland, Suma, Graphtech. I think Suma and Graphtech are like those are like the Mac Daddies. The all hail, Grand Poobah, type vinyl cutters. But if you're looking for a good cutter, if you're looking at the Graphtech brand, look at the Sign Warehouse Q Series cutters. They're the same thing, depending on what software that you run. It's essentially the Q Series is the same thing as the Graphtech. I think they're the new 80, were they 8600, 9000s or something like that. I don't know what the new model is. Whatever. I don't keep up with it. But Sign Warehouse has some good cutters, and if they're branded Q Series cutters, they're still Graphtech cutters. They just have different firmware. They have all the specs that the Graphtechs do, and it'll save you thousands of dollars if you're looking for another cutter. Anyways, appreciate you tuning in, Peter. Henry, good night, my friend. It's good talking to you. Glad to see that you're doing well. Sheldon, I like to design from 8 to 11. Drink lots of coffee and then print from 3 till midnight. You're a trooper, brother. I'm not. I need 8 hours of sleep. Like I said, if I wake up at 7 o'clock, it takes me an hour and a half to become awake for me to eat my breakfast. I have to have a breakfast sandwich. I have to drink my coffee, and I go through all emails and messages, and then hop in the shower, and then I'm generally in the shop by 10 o'clock. Go through emails, and generally around 12, 1 o'clock, I can actually start producing stuff like cutting and printing. And then I got to hustle because FedEx closes at 4:30 or the post office stuff's, So, yeah, I am definitely more productive at night than I am in the morning. I've never, ever been a morning person. But I'm with you. I'm with you, brother. Fred. So I switched to Roland. Well, like I said, I hope it works out for you. Henry, I'm a double X guy, and I like cotton. I don't like polyester blends. I got to have that soft cotton on my arms. Reach out to me. iCandySigns@comcast.net or iCandySigns@gmail.com. Either two. Send me an email and we'll chit chat back and forth. I appreciate it. David, I have a Graphtech CE6000 and it's been great because it's Mac friendly. Yeah, I think that's the other benefit. I tend to forget that. Like I said, I'm Windows just because I've never never had the need to use a Mac. But I think that Suma and Graphtech will run off of Macs too. But I think it also depends on the RIP or the cutting program that you use. So, Fred, I'll contact you about apparel. I own screen printing, embroidery, and promotional. Hey, it's all good. Absolutely. Like I said, I'm just looking. I'm just looking to get some shirts made. Like I said, I kind of spread the wealth out. Like I said, y'all helped me tremendously. Like I said, I appreciate all the likes and the subscription and the subscribes and all that other good stuff. So it's been awesome. But yeah, even Junior said, "No, that's a work schedule." LOL. Y'all are killing me. You make me look really, really bad. You know that. I am the technical slacker. I really, really am. I tell my wife, I said I walk around for 6 hours just walking into walls. So, and then I finally realized what I do about 3 or 4 o'clock, and then I have to get my act together and actually do something. So whether it's cutting signs or vinyl or printing something. Just, what have you done? Well, I got 3 signs printed. So anyways, guys, it's a little bit after 9 o'clock. Again, as I said, I appreciate everyone tuning in here, and y'all make me happy. So, but on that note, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and end this stream. And like I said, we're going on vacation next week, so I may have another video. And so the video is actually going to be about copywriting and trademarking without an attorney. And I got a little a little bit of information, a little bit of tidbit of advice that I could give you all on that too. It's not that I really got in any trouble or anything, but it's a good way to copyright your trademark your artwork without technically going to an attorney. You basically, anyways, you just keep an eye out. Like I said, I'm going to try to make it halfway decent here, but it should be some good information. So. All right, guys. Good night for now. Appreciate everyone tuning in, and we'll see you next time again. Like I said, this is Sean. If anyone ever needs anything, feel free to send me an email, give me a message, and we'll get back to you. And for all those other guys talking about shirts, like I said, definitely reach out to me, and we're gonna get off here. Appreciate it. Thank you for everyone chiming in. Thank you for everyone watching, and we'll definitely see you next time. Y'all have a good evening, and thank you again.